This time, Islamic Secrets will tell the story of the conversion of a famous millionaire named Mark Schaefer. Mark Schaefer, an American lawyer and millionaire, decided to embrace Islam while on holiday in Saudi Arabia to visit several famous cities such as Riyadh, Aba, and Jeddah. Mark is a famous millionaire and also a lawyer trained in Los Angeles, specializing in civil law cases. A tour guide who accompanied Mark in Saudi, Dawi Ben Nasher, said that since Mark set foot in Saudi Arabia for the first time, he had started asking questions about Islam and prayer. As soon as he arrived in Saudi, Mark became very interested in Islam. Mark Schaefer and tour guide visit Aba and Alula. There, Mark's interest in Islam became clearer. Especially when they went into the desert. Mark was very amazed when he saw 3 young Saudi men in our group praying in a very wide expanse of desert, a fantastic panorama, said Nasher, reported in the Saudi Gazette. After 2 days in Alula, Mark and Nasher went to Al-Juf. Once in Al-Juf, Mark asked if Nasher could give him some books about Islam. Nasher then gave him several books about Islam. The next morning, he asked Nasher to teach him how to perform the prayer. Nasher then taught him how to worship and perform ablution. Later, Mark joined Nasher and prayed beside him. After praying, Mark told me that he felt peace in his soul, continued Nasher. On Thursday afternoon, they left Alula for Jeddah. On Friday morning, they visited the old city of Jeddah. Before Friday prayer time approached, they returned to the hotel and Nasher said goodbye to go to Friday prayers. Mark told his friend that he wanted to join him for Friday prayers, so he can see for himself how Friday prayers are performed. Nasher then welcomed the idea. Nasher said they then went to a mosque not far from the hotel where they were staying in Jeddah. Because they were quite late, he and many other people had to pray outside the mosque, because the congregation was overflowing. I could see Mark observing the people in the congregation, especially after Friday prayers were finished, when everyone was shaking hands and hugging each other with their faces radiant and happy. Mark was very impressed by what he saw. When returning to the hotel, Mark suddenly told Nasher that he wanted to become a Muslim. Because of that, Nasher asked him to take a shower first. After Mark showered, he guided him to recite the Shahada as a requirement to become a Muslim. And then Mark prayed 2 rak'ahs. Furthermore, Mark expressed his desire to visit the Grand Mosque in Mecca and pray there before leaving Saudi Arabia. To fulfill their wish, they then went to the Dawah Center in Jeddah to get official proof of their conversion to Islam. So, Mark will be allowed to enter the city of Mecca and the Grand Mosque. Mark was then given a temporary certificate of conversion, and he was able to visit the holy city of Mecca. After Mark declared his Islamic faith, he had the opportunity to reveal his experiences to Al Riyadh newspaper. He said that he could not express his feelings at that time. However, he felt like he was being reborn and starting a new life. I am very happy. The happiness I feel cannot be expressed in words, especially when I visited the Grand Mosque and the noble Kaaba, said Mark. Mark also told about his next steps after he converted to Islam. He explained that he wanted to learn more about Islam, learn more about the religion of Allah, Islam, and return to Saudi Arabia to perform the Hajj. He also revealed what prompted him to convert to Islam. I already had information about Islam, but it was very limited. When I read the correct information about Islam, I became convinced that Islam is a religion of haqq, truth, continued Mark. On Sunday morning, Mark left Jeddah's King Abdul Aziz Airport for America. When filling out the immigration form before leaving Jeddah, Mark wrote Islam as his religion.